The Ford Mustang has been a popular car ever since it was released. The first generation was produced from 1964 to 1973. They were all very powerful cars, but also very heavy and gas-guzzling. But that doesn't matter because the oil crisis wouldn't happen for another decade. The second generation was produced from 1974 to 1978, and they were less powerful and more economical due to new emission laws. Then the third generation came out, which had a lot of design changes, and they were produced up until 1993. Fourth generation was Fox body Mustangs, produced from 1994 to 2004, and these are still very popular today amongst gearheads. The fifth generation, which is what most people call the S197, was produced from 2005 to 2014, and they were retro-inspired by the first-generation models. The sixth generation, also known as the S550 platform, was produced from 2015 to 2020, and even though they are very capable, they never really got the respect they deserved. This is probably due to the fact that they look very similar to their predecessors. But with the release of the seventh generation, things are about to change. Let's take a closer look at the evolution of the Mustang. The S650 generation Mustang will be available as a coupe or a convertible, just like its predecessors. But this time around, Ford has added an all-wheel drive option, which is something that has never been offered before. Even though rear-wheel drive will still be the most popular option, the top speed will depend on the tires you choose. If you go with the Goodyear Eagle RS tires, then the top speed will be limited to 121 miles per hour. But if you opt for the Pirelli P0 PZ4 rubber, then the top speed will increase to 180 miles per hour. That's actually the same as the previous generation. Now, when it comes to the acceleration, the 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint should be done in about 4 seconds, regardless of the engine you choose. But if you opt for the performance or track-ready variant, then you will shave off a couple of tenths. Unfortunately, there will be no V6 engine option this time around. So if you want something other than 4 or 8 cylinders, then you will have to look elsewhere. The exterior design of the Mustang has always been very iconic and instantly recognizable. But with each new generation, they also managed to make it look better and better. The seventh generation looks exactly like a Mustang, but it now has a more aggressive stance and a meaner face. We can see that in the sharp lines and angles that are used throughout the body. The front end has a very bold look with the large grille and the slim headlights. The side view shows us those crisp lines I talked about, and it also shows us that this is not just a facelift. The greenhouse is completely new, and so is the rear end. The taillights are now vertical, and they look really cool. But I would have loved to see something a bit more unique. The rear end does look very aggressive, but it reminds me too much of the current model. Overall, I think that the seventh generation Mustang looks really good. It's a modern muscle car with a classic American design. It's powerful, it's fast, and it's fun to drive. Now let's talk about the interior. We don't have a lot of pictures yet because Ford has only released the official press photos. But we do know that the interior has been completely redesigned. It's now more driver-focused, and it has a more premium look and feel. We can see that in the new dash and the center console. They are both very clean and uncluttered, which makes the interior look more spacious. We also like the new seats and the flat-bottom steering wheel. They add a nice touch of sportiness to the cabin. Unfortunately, we don't have any pictures of the back seat yet, but we do know that it's still pretty cramped back there. That's because the Mustang is still based on the old platform, so don't expect too much head or legroom back there. But that's not really what the Mustang is all about anyway. It's a two-seater for the driver and his or her dream. The infotainment system is also new, and it's now a lot more user-friendly. It's still an 8-inch touchscreen, but it's now surrounded by physical buttons and knobs, so it's easier to use while driving. We also like that there is finally an available head-up display. It's a small one, but it's a start. We don't know if the gauge cluster is still a 12.4 inches fully digital screen, but we will find out soon enough. The sound system is also new, and it's now a lot more powerful. It's still an available Bang & Olufsen system, but it's now a 12-speaker system instead of 8. The audio system was already pretty good in the outgoing model, so this is definitely a welcome addition. The build quality is also very good. In fact, it's better than good. It's excellent. We tested it ourselves by opening and closing all the doors and checking the panel gaps, and everything is just perfect. Now let's talk about the trunk. The trunk is still pretty small, but it's still usable. It's about the same size as the outgoing model, which is to say it's not very big, but it's still usable. We also like that the rear seats fold down so you can fit longer items in there. When it comes to safety, the Mustang has always been pretty good. It has a lot of standard features such as a rear-view camera, blind spot monitoring, and lane keeping assist. But now it has even more. For example, there is automatic emergency braking, and it also has pedestrian detection. Those are important features that can help prevent accidents from happening. We don't have the full list of safety features yet, but we will find out soon enough. We can expect the price of the Mustang to stay about the same. It starts at about $15,000 and goes up to about $30,000 for the top-of-the-line models. So we can expect the price to stay in that range. Now let's talk about the competition. The Mustang is in a class of its own, but it does have some rivals. The Camaro is probably its biggest rival, and it's also the one that it's most similar to. But the Mustang is a better car overall. It's more powerful, it's faster, and it's more fun to drive. Other rivals include the Dodge Challenger and the Tesla Model 3. The Challenger is a very capable muscle car, but it's not as nimble as the Mustang, and it's definitely not as fast. The Model 3 is a very interesting car, but it's not really a rival to the Mustang. It's a great electric sedan, but it's not a muscle car, so we don't really consider it to be a rival. So there you have it, the evolution of the Mustang. A true American icon that has stood the test of time, from its humble beginnings as a humble pony car to its current status as a global icon. The Mustang has come a long way. But one thing has remained constant, and that is the Mustang's commitment to power, performance, and style. No matter what the future may hold, one thing is for sure, the Mustang will continue to be one of the most popular and beloved cars ever made. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more automotive content. Thank you for watching.